Hey everyone,
Hello.
welcome back to another Design Cuts weekly community hangout. It is wonderful to see all of you lovely design cutters out there, and I'm thrilled to be joined again by the lovely Debi Sementelli. Welcome back, Debi.
Thank you for having me again. I was just here last week and that was fun. But
You're part of the furniture at this point, Debi, part of the team.
I love it. I love it. I'll take that.
So today we're back to do another wonderful demonstration in the world of wedding invites. Do you mind talking us through what you're going to be sharing today, please?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go through a PowerPoint presentation and I'm going to basically show you how to think about the design first, what kind of features you want, and then how to actually add more impact, because I see a lot of people who don't have a lot of experience and they just kind of put the basic stuff down. But I'm going to show you how to really spice it up and make it modern too.
Sounds good to me. So we're going to see some spicy looking wedding invites. And having just designed my own, there's nothing worse than a boring wedding invite. So I love the effort you put into yours.
I can't wait to see. Yes, and this is a brand new one, Tom. It's not the same one.
I saw a little sneak peek. I like the look of it. Shall we jump right in and share it with everyone?
I'm going to share my screen.
Amazing.
All right, cool.
Here we go.
Okay. Let me just move this out of the way a little. Oh, let's go back to the beginning. Sorry.
Good.
I am.
And today we're actually going to be showing how to do some of this stuff in Word, believe it or not.
Yes, this is the key thing. And one of the reasons why I'm excited to share this is I have a lot of friends that don't have professional programs, but almost everybody has Word. And so I really am excited to let them see that the way that I've set up my font, I've given you, I just noticed somehow that
I was trying not to say anything.
What happened there? Probably clicked on something. Anyway, so
don't worry, that we were testing the audience there to see if they picked up on it.
If anybody knows how to spell. So I've given you everything that allows you to do the same thing you could do like in Photoshop. But the first thing is to think about the design. So what's the style that you want? There's many different options. And how do you create an inspiration board? Well, I just grabbed these pictures from, the World Wide Web. And also, I was on a walk the other day and I took a picture of these beautiful pansies because I just love that color combination. So you can even do things like that. Just take a picture from some beautiful garden or whatever inspires you, and you can create an inspiration board from that. And then from there, you can create your color palette. And then you're going to start to think about how to create a word hierarchy. So you have to think about what information is the most important to the least important. And typically that's the names and the date. Those are things that people like to highlight. And of course, you got to select the fonts. And of course, my favorite choice for script right now is my new Hello, My Love font.
It's everyone's favorite choice. And I know some of the Design Cuts team are watching this. Let's link the font up. So anyone that hasn't seen it needs to check it out. It is a beauty.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you can pair that with either a serif or a sans serif. And today I'm going to be pairing it with the Baskerville Old Face. So if we select a traditional style, I'm going to show you kind of the design process doing it traditionally, and then we're going to do a demonstration of more of a modern look. The first thing is to think about the layout. How does everything fit? Is there balance? Is there good negative and positive space? Is there something of interest? So that's your minimum for any kind of design. So we could do something like this, and it fits all of those requirements. But what if we want to take it up a notch? We can add more to the focal point and increase the difference in word size, and we get something like this.
Love it. I love these before and afters, actually. It's so helpful to see the impact that little tweaks can have.
Yeah. And then we could do something else. We could invert the design and print it in white with a color background.
Very nice.
If you want to create the most impact and add a modern feel, you got to go with a beautiful watercolor background and a contrasting return envelope. And of course, I love when you can match a stamp to it. I'm all about the stamp. So the whole invitation suite can then be designed from your invitation, and you're going to have something like this. So we have the basic invitation. We can print it, and then we can use a colored card backing to just add more pop and get that colorful impact. And then we can take aspects of the ornaments that we have here, which all of this comes from my font, the 91 ornaments and 1985 glyphs. I actually counted wrong. There's 1985. Anyway.
Is that all?
Yeah. And so we can do some beautiful things just with all the elements we already have. Bring a beautiful RSVP card. We can have that envelope that brings a color of pop, and take a slightly lighter color on the purple to have a beautiful envelope that we can then print in the font for our addressing. And you always want to make sure that you have a colored envelope that is a lighter color so that you can actually print on it if you are wanting to print this at home, which you would be able to do very easily.
Do you have somewhere where you get custom stamps? Because I didn't even think of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Custom stamps are really fun to do, but a lot of times there's so many gorgeous stamps that you can find one that, you know, already just has beautiful colors. So, you know, look there first, but if you like a custom stamp, that's definitely something you can find. Now, some other options you can do, these are things I've done in the past, is you can use some shimmer paper, a pretty ribbon to tie everything together. You can also use, this is very cool, these pocket folders are really nice, and you can find those online. You can do a monogram pouch enclosure. So all of these things, all doable for a DIY bride or mom of the bride. And then here's how you make your watercolor swatch. I just used some gouache paint. You can use any kind of watercolor paint. You saturate the paper, the watercolor paper with water, and start popping the colors in, and it's really fun to do. And I've actually created a YouTube video that's on my YouTube channel to show myself doing this. So if anybody is a little scared of trying that, it's really easy and fun. And once you have that, you just take a pic with your phone. I would crop it and brighten it on my phone, and then send it to computer, and then add it to your invitation in Word.
I love it. So I presumed you had scanned the watercolor, but I guess it's so abstract you don't even necessarily need to, because it can still pick out all that gorgeous shape and color.
Exactly. I just did it right with the pic from my phone. No need to do anything else. Yeah. So let's go to Word. So here is our finished design.
I think this is a first in our community hangouts to be demoing in Word, but I love it because, as you mentioned, not everyone has the Creative Suite, and especially I've had clients request stuff in Word before. So if you can actually design and then give them the files if they want to do some editing themselves, that's really powerful. In
fact, I would love to give you this file so that you could offer it as a download for anybody who would like to use it. Mm-hmm. And I'll give them the watercolor backing as well, because the new trending look, the new color is blue, but the new trending look on design invitations is really bright, beautiful colors and watercolor. So this is like perfectly on trend. So I'm going to just show for some people who may not know that in Word you can create custom sizes. So this is already created, but you would go to File, Page Setup, and you can see right here that it says paper size. You can go Manage Custom Sizes, and then you can actually put in the size that you want. And in this case, I've already put in the size, and I call it an A7 because that is the standard name for a 5x7 in the United States. So we've already done that. And the other thing I want to show you is how we get this background with, these aren't actually printable crop marks, but it gives you a nice boundary. And so we go to Word, Preferences, and there's a tool called View, and you want to click on Text Boundaries, and that's what's going to give you this. And then further, I adjusted the margins so that it's a 1/4 inch all around. And yeah, okay.
So Jackie in the comments mentioned, I absolutely love that you're doing this in Word. And I would tend to agree. This reminds me a little bit of, have you seen the incredible artists that work in software like Microsoft Paint and the more neglected softwares, and they do these stunning outcomes and everyone's like, what, you made that in Paint? It's like, you made that in Word? It's pretty impressive.
It is.
I didn't think Word could do this kind of thing until you said
I know. And this is 2011. And so I believe it's 2010 and up, they added this new typography section, and they added a lot more things since my version, which is 2011. Like the current version has all kinds of additional things. But I kind of think it's kind of cool that I have the 2011, because there could be people out there that have an older version like I do. Mm-hmm. So you can just see how much you can really do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the background in, and I'm going to come over here to Insert, and let me zoom in a little bit more. I don't want to go too big, but okay. So we're inserting a picture from File, and I'm going to go on my Design Cuts file, and here's my background. So I'm just going to insert that. Yeah. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so we're all good there. Now the next thing we're going to do is start to add the typography. So the first thing I'm going to add are the names. So before I do that, I want to show you, we come to Home, oops. Right here is a section called Typography. And it has kerning, it has contextual alternates, it has ligatures, and style sets. Yes. So believe it or not, as a font designer, I can set up things in my font program that will allow Word to access all of these things and give everybody the benefit of using something normally you could only use in Photoshop or Illustrator or InDesign. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. But we're going to go and get a text box, and we're going to make it the whole length. And this is the weird thing that happens in Word. So you have to click, right-click, go to Wrap Text and None. So that way you don't have that little problem happening. Mm-hmm. So we want to, of course, put the text in with the Hello, My Love font. So we're going to go to the spinning wheel. This is like the thing that's a little bit nerve-wracking, but we already have Hello, My Love up here, and I already know in advance that I set it at 55 points. And just for some people that don't know, you have these standard settings, but you can actually highlight it and put in your own sizing. Now, even though this is in white, I want to put it in black, and I'm going to explain why. So we're going to type in, let's go back here. Oh, sorry. Little glitch there. Okay. So we have it in black. We're in the box, and we're going to type this in. Now, because I want to use some of the stylistic sets, and I learned this the hard way, I come up here, and if I had clicked on white as the color, I would think there was nothing in these boxes.
Ah, that makes sense.
Which which happened to me. And, you know, it was one of those things when I finally figured it out, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. That's like pretty silly. But that happens sometimes. So you can see I was able to easily choose a different V from there. And just to give you an idea, there are 259 lowercase alternates and 215 uppercase alternates in my font.
Huge amount.
Yes, there are. So you can see that we can go through and add, and I'm just going to add what we've already put over here and go to the M here, stylistic sets again. And it's so easy. And this kind of has a nice play.
That's so pretty.
L, kind of an extra A. There we go. Okay.
I love that one on the L.
Yeah,
that is really stunning.
Yeah. So now we can just copy, and I'm hitting Command V to paste it because we're going to do the groom's name. Now, one thing that you'll notice when I type in his name, it comes out not in the standard default lettering, and that's because somehow the stylistic set being on in the top one that we copied, it does something funny to it. But all we have to do is go up to stylistic sets like I did, and we just hit on the default. So now we can come back in here, and we can choose a different N. So I'm choosing some of my favorites, but you can see there's many different options.
Why do I feel like you had quite a bit of fun creating these stylistic alternates, Debbie?
Oh my gosh. You know, it's one of those things where I go, okay, I should stop now. It's kind of like eating popcorn or something. You're like, I should really stop now. And then I'm like, oh, but what if it did this? So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, one thing I forgot to point out, I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to click on the kerning because the normal default for Word is not to have kerning on. You see how that shifted slightly?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm also, this is a new discovery. If you highlight everything and you click on contextual alternates, you'll see the endings change. So look at the A and the S.
Yep.
Okay. That S changed before. And it's a little wonky, to be quite honest. Sometimes everything changes and sometimes it doesn't. But that's something that I didn't even know that you could do in Word. So that's kind of cool. And we're going to make sure that this goes to the border here. Okay. And then we want to make sure that our text is centered. So go back to home and center. And home again and center. So now we know they're centered, and we can add our little ampersand. So I'm going to go up and get another text box. I'm going to put it down here because, you know, it does that wonky. Well, it's doing it anyway. But we're going to go, whoops, we're going to go to, there we go, wrap text none. So don't freak out when you get that weird thing happening. And we're going to put in our and sign. Whoops, I got to change. Oh, every time you do create a new text box, it goes to the standard default.
Standard font, okay.
Yeah.
See, it's these little things that make me appreciate Photoshop.
Exactly.
But I still think it's so cool that you can get this done in Word.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So also, just to show you, even the ampersands, I put them in a stylistic set because there are 3 choices. And so I wanted everybody who uses Word to have the ability to choose between the 3 ampersands. So I did that in the, I'm also going to center this, okay? And we can bring that up here and put it where we think it works. Now I can actually click, I'm holding the command key and I'm clicking on all three of these, and I can now group those. So now they all move together, which
Amazing.
is another great thing, because you know, you tend to kind of move things around a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to go to our ornament feature up here. And I can change this into white at some point, but we're just leaving it in black for now. So let's go to create another text box. And again, there's that wonky thing. We just wrap text none. And now we're going to choose the Hello My Love ornaments. There are 91 of them. And I want to just point out, it does not say Hello My Love ornaments. It's just a picture of the ornaments. That's just how they do that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And in
do you remember wingdings?
Oh, yeah.
That was like my first experience of symbol-based ones.
Yep. In my user guide, it's a 35-page user guide to tell you everything that you need to know. You can find which of the ornaments correspond to which of the keys. So I want the F ornament. So I'm just going to go and type in a capital F, and we're going to size that up to, let's see, I'm going to double check on this one. I left off the size. Let me take a guess here. We're going to go to 100. Yeah. And again, we're going to center that. And now I can, again, copy and Command B, paste. And now I can decide that I want to put some flowers in there. So in this case, I am using V and C. So this would be, there we go, V right there. Forgot the alphabet for a second there. So again,
people never guessed that these kind of floral embellishments were font-based as well, I think. You know, like the end recipient, for example, or the couple. They'd presume those had all been custom hand painted.
Yeah. Nope. So we can bring that in there, and we can copy and paste again. Don't do that. It was over here. There we go. Okay. And I want my other floral, to be the C. So now I can actually combine these in the way that I want. I think that looks good. And now we're going to, again, group. And now I can move these both over here. And I can add this.
So you're grouping again, yeah.
Yes. So now I've got that all grouped. I've got the names grouped. And I would go back in and add, this is a basic text box. This is a basic text box. This is another smaller ornament. And all together, this is what we're going to end up with. And of course, I would change everything into white, and very simple to do that. Simply go up to the type selector color and choose that. Now, something I want to show you that I found that I thought was amazing, because I never knew Word had this. So if you look at this color and you go to more colors, I actually was able to upload through this little image palette the background. And so I can simply, with the color picker, I can choose exactly the colors that I want from the background. That is surprising.
This is blowing my mind, because especially the fact this is such an old version of Word.
I know.
I've never done more than write a college paper.
Right.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, I can go anywhere and click OK, and it automatically changes the color.
That's so cool.
That's pretty cool. And you can import any picture you like. So the pansies picture, I could import that and draw the colors directly from that. So that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's say that we have our finished product. Now, one of the things that I think is good to do, especially if you're printing this at home, or like, let's say you're taking it to, in the United States, we have like Kinko's, FedEx Kinko's, and you're gonna copy them, you're gonna make them yourself. Then a great idea, because those types of places use standard papers, so an 8.5 by 11. So a great idea is simply create a file that has what we call 2 up, meaning 2 on the page. So I just created another file that's 8.5 by 11. You can see I put the grid back there, and I made the adjustments in my margins. See? So that, because this is an 8.5 by 11 paper, so I know that the total of my 2 5x7s is going to be 10 inches. So because this is 8.5 by 11, that gives me an inch left over. So I made a 1/2 inch on either border. So that's kind of how you figure that out. And then, the original one was saved as a PDF. So now I can simply go to Home, Insert, Picture from File, and I'm going to go and get the PDF and insert it. And there I've got 2 of them side by side. Now, on the later versions, the newer versions, you can actually find crop marks in that same word preferences where we went to turn on the text boundaries under View. There's actually a box that says crop marks. But as you can see, I don't have that. But we do have our text boundaries, so we know where the crop marks would go. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use the shape. And this is lines and connectors. And we take the very basic line, and I'm holding down Shift so that I can get a nice straight line. And now I come into Format. I go to the line. I can make it black. I can make it whatever color I want. And I'm going to go down into Weight. And I think a 1/2 point is good. And there I have a crop mark. And what I did over here is I simply made 2 crop marks and lined them up, group them, and then you can simply copy and paste that on all of your 4 corners. And then to get your middle crop, you can just make a single one and place it there. And there you have a printable 2 up on one paper. You can take this to any type of local printer place. They have typically laser printers, which are usually a higher quality and better color. If you're printing it at home, I just got a brand new laser printer that I'm very excited about. And the color is pretty amazing. So I'm going to show you that.
Wow. Yeah, it's really nice and bright.
Yes, and I'll show you that once I stop sharing my screen. Now, would you like to see some of the other features that you think you could only do in Photoshop, but no, you can do them in Word as well? Would you like to see that?
I definitely would. And as Rachel just said in the comments, hey Rachel, by the way, says, lol, Debbie left no stone unturned.
Thank you. I really, like I said, I have a lot of friends that don't have professional programs, they would be really mad at me if I did not give them all this really cool stuff that they can do in Word. So I got your back, moms. All right, especially when you're on a, you're on a budget with weddings. You know about that, Tom.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like running a second company, I tell you.
There you go. Absolutely. I can't wait to hear the details. Okay, so let's take this, Mr. and Mrs. John Smitty the third. Now, a lot of times you'll get a wedding list, and you might have people that have Roman numerals in their name. So what you do is I have put the Roman numerals in a stylistic set. So we go back up here, and you can see we have the 3 capitalized, and it's giving you all the choices if you wanted more than those capitalized, but it's also going to give you, where'd they go?
No, Word, don't do this to us.
I know, they are in here.
They are, and we've seen it earlier.
You've seen it.
Word is glitching people.
It is, because I wonder if I have to do the whole thing. There are weird things in Word.
Yeah, let's live troubleshoot. This is what it's really like, guys, being a designer in the moment.
I'm just going to click on these things. And, okay, I see what I did. I think this should fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, I will get back to you. Because this worked. So let's pretend that it did, and I will get back to you with...
For anyone that watched the previous Hangout in Photoshop, you'll know exactly what would normally be happening here, though. And it's super, super smart. You get all of these different alternate, Roman numerals. Yes,
that should be Roman numerals. And I've turned on discretionary ligatures, and that is where we...
Do you want to hear a joke, Debbie?
Oh, sure.
So I'm really, you have to see me as well. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Maybe remind me after this.
Okay. So I'm just going to show you a highlighted, and I'm clicking on contextual alternates. So these end letters, the R, the D, the S, those are all changing to an ending letter. So that's one thing that you can do. I'm also going to click on standard alternates, and you see the 2 T's change from there's none where they're clashing, and now I put on standard, and the 2 T's are resolved as one contextual alternate. So that works there. And if you wanted to, of course, make these fancier, you can again go into stylistic sets. And
we always want to go fancier, Debbie. We're a fancy bunch.
Yeah, but this is, okay, I will get back on why this is somehow, for some reason, not showing up.
That's going to bug you, isn't it?
It's driving me absolutely crazy, but okay, go on. All right, the show must go on. Now, here's a cool thing. So sometimes you want a letter to have a nice beginning swash. So what I've done in my ornaments is I created a set of swashes. And so it's on ornaments right now, and yes, right there. And we can click any number of things. And again, let me find, if we go to the Hello, My Love user guide, oh, there we go. You can see, for instance, these 3 beginning swashes here. There's 3 different ones in 3 different sizes. There are actually 4 different styles of beginning swashes. So if I wanted to change that, I could hit the exclamation and I change it. Or I can hit the percentage sign and I change it. So all of these line up with any of the lowercase letters to give you the beginning swash look. So that's kind of a cool thing, because not many people can do that. in
That's
Word.
amazing. Yeah, and it just perfectly lines up.
Yeah.
Tiffany commented, try putting the I's lowercase and then try. Would that work?
No, it's
No, it's
definitely
uppercase. Yeah.
to the uppercase.
Yeah, I
But
thought so.
you know what? Oh, okay. Give me a minute here. Now I know.
Tiffany inspired you.
Yes, you did, Tiffany. Thank you so much. So let's see if we can hear. There it is. Okay. It's under the 3. So I had to do it differently in Word. Instead of using
There we go.
I forgot that. I had to do it, I had to set it up so it corresponds with numbers. So there you go.
So you just type the number 3, and then the stylistic alternate for that is Roman numerals.
Absolutely.
That's so smart.
Yes, and you just can look through here. You can see. Go back to home. So it's all 3s, but then you'll see it right there. Okay.
Amazing.
So let's go on to some other cool things. This is a crossless T. Now, I have a lot of cool stylistic alternates that can cross other letters. And so I wanted people to be able to not double cross. So what I did was I created a T that has no crossbar. So it's right here. And that allows, I'll show you if you move that, that allows me to cross the T with this beautifully flourished D. And in a similar vein, I'm going to go to the next, well, actually, I'm going to go down to the bottom one where you can also go to the L. So if I were to type this and put an L in, so there's a standard L, but I want that to be the L that has the straight line in it like a T. I just simply go up to stylistic sets, and now I've got this different type of T that gets crossed. So that's another little cool feature. And lastly, again, if I wanted to, maybe I have something else, a different word, and the T's are clashing, and I want to be able to place my, excuse me, my crossbar. So what I've done is, again, in the stylistic, in the ornaments, you see that under here and here, we've got some basic crossbars, the number 1. So we've got 3 different crossbars here. This one also can work as a crossbar. So you can simply type that in under the ornaments in a separate text box and then place it wherever you want it on that T.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah. And then we come down to the contextual alt feature. So some people don't know what contextual alternates means. And it really means letters that are being used in a different context. So for instance, if you have a letter that's at the end of a word, typically when you're writing, you would not create a connecting letter. You would simply end it in most cases. So if you see, here's the default. And, oh, let me uncheck that. Okay, there's the default. So you see everything has a connecting letter. A connecting stroke. Now, if I turn on contextual alternates, they change. So these are what you would use at the end of a word so that it just has a more natural flow.
Love it.
And then, of course, there are 3 ampersands. And so everybody could access them. Of course, I put them all in a stylistic set. So they're all here. So all I have to do is go up here, and you'll see there's the second one, and there's the third one. So this was my little love letter to my friends who maybe they're on a budget and they're trying to do a DIY ornament that, a DIY invitation that's, not going to cost us much. And Word, since you already have it on your computer, is a great alternative if you don't have a more professional program. And I've just given you a way to use it and create something really beautiful.
I love that so much. Amazing, Debbie.
Yeah.
Give it up for Debbie in the comments, everyone.
So let me come back to you and stop sharing my screen. There we go. There's the little X.
So cool. Welcome back. That was so great.
I tried to match.
Oh, look at that.
Invitation. But this is the actual invitation printed on a laser printer. And it's amazing the quality and how nice of an invitation you can really make. And then this is a beautiful lilac colored envelope that you can easily print in a darker purple. So you've got your beautiful invitation right there, and you can create a whole suite.
You're a very talented lady, Debbie.
Thank you. I'm budget conscious, really, because I have sons that are of the marrying age. And so, I empathize with people that are on a budget and really want something still beautiful and custom, and, it really speaks to what the event is about. So I love to do that and create those opportunities for people.
If you see them digging around in Word, it might be a telltale sign that it's, their time.
Yeah, that's probably how I'll find out. I'll get a text saying, "Hey, Mom, do you have time to make an invitation?" That's
do you want to hear my Roman numeral dad joke?
Yes, please.
Okay. So a Roman walks into a bar and the bartender says, "What will it be?" And he says, "I'll get 5 beers, please."
All right. I have an answer for that. Hold on. Give me a moment.
What are you bringing up?
At a time.
Nice.
For the dad joke. So I'm curious to see if anybody has any questions for me about working in Word, because it's certainly something different.
Yeah, there are a few questions. So there's several Mac users that were asking both about Word on Mac and Pages. Do you know if everything you showed us is more or less possible in those applications?
I'm on a Mac.
So, okay, perfect. Yeah. So definitely you can do it on Word for Mac. Do you know about Pages? I mean, I presume it's basically a Word ripoff. So I presume there must be a lot of the same functionality.
Yes, probably, but I myself have never done anything in Pages.
Okay. Pages, Mac, stylistic, alternates. Tell you what, a live Google. The first article does say open type features in Pages. So cool. I think at a glance, I think it's possible.
Cool.
We shall see. But yeah, I think a quick Google should give you the, where the tools are located. But the framework of today's lesson should hopefully give you what you need to start making some stunning layouts.
I am old school, Jackie. Oh, and Kathy says, files and pages do not open properly in a Windows computer. That's interesting.
No, you have to save them as a Word document. So I'd be intrigued what gets pulled over if that breaks anything, but hopefully not. So Tiffany says it looks great. What about CMYK versus RGB?
That's a good question. I don't know about the color settings in Word, but all I can say is that I did test it and it printed really beautifully. Now, having said that, I think the printing quality and colors is going to depend a lot on your printer. So that's where I would do some testing and, see if you can do some alterations with the printer color settings.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I think that was the bulk of the questions were kind of software related. But Debbie, do you mind, for anyone that's not aware, and hopefully that's not many people at this point, anyone who's not aware of the Hello My Love font that you use, do you mind giving a bit of an overview of what that is and, you know, how people can use it perhaps beyond wedding invites, because it's so versatile?
Oh, sure. Would you like me to share?
Yeah, let's
Right?
have a look up close and personal.
Okay. And let me just get that going. And okay, so I'm going to share my screen again.
Amazing. Let us know in the comments, does anyone not know the Hello My Love font? We have done one hangout showcasing a different wedding invite that you can create with it, but I know we've got a few new faces today. If you haven't seen it, it's so beautiful there.
Okay. And is that large enough?
It should be. I think the team are just going to focus on it.
Okay.
It's kind of, there we go.
I mean, I can make it larger if we need.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see, it actually has 1985, and my apologies, Tom, because when I was doing my last minute things, I added some more glyphs because, you know, I can't help myself. And so it actually has 1985, so we might need to change that. But yeah, you can use it for simple things like signs. Like this would be perfect to sell in an Etsy shop or to make a sign. I think this would be a lovely like little gift for someone for Valentine's Day.
It's creeping up, guys.
Yes, it is, because you can get a simple frame like this, and all of the letters just have a beautiful flow to them. This is the basic set of upper and lowercase and punctuation, obviously. But of course, as I say, there are 1985 glyphs. And here is a lovely graphic and illustration and invitation designed by Allie, which is just lovely. She just highlighted so many beautiful letters.
You know, I showed that to Lisa Glanz, who made the florals, and she loved it as well.
Oh, yes, her florals are just stunning. And it covers 42 plus languages, Latin languages. So just anything you need from most of the Latin-speaking countries. And this was a nice little graphic, again, Allie and Matt created. And this is really true. This is my husband and I, this whole font is based on my 35th wedding anniversary. And I wanted to do something to commemorate that we made it to 35 years and we still like each other. And he is just still, I say he's not the man of my dreams. He's like the man of my life. He's like better than a dream because he's a really great partner. And so I wanted to celebrate that. And I wanted to celebrate, you know, love in general and people who've been able to love through difficult times. And it doesn't even have to be a romantic partnership. You know, it can be a friendship, or it can be, you know, with a sibling or with a parent. Like, I just think love is the most powerful thing in the world. And when we have love in our lives, like nothing can beat us down. So this is my saying for him: you were my first love and you'll be my last love. And it explains what he really tells. We went to dinner for our anniversary one year, I think it was for our 35th, and with our friends, and he explained to them that he is the black and white and I bring the color. And
Aww.
I thought that was really cool, and it's very true and very accurate. So, and these are just some of the 69 ligatures that I have. But you can see it can also be used for beautiful product demonstrations. For this, I would buy this perfume, and I love this D used here. I have like 4 capitals that have this flourished swash because I was just waiting for somebody to use it like this. Mm-hmm. And so this just makes me melt. And then, of course, this is just showing the different things that you can do. Again, here's a crossless T with a swash F that comes back and crosses that T. And we have the alternate letter endings, the contextual alternates. And how cool is this restaurant? I want to go there.
Me too.
And I think you had mentioned before when you saw this M, and I love that you pointed this out, that this could be used for branding, and I could totally see that M by itself in a circle, you know, with some other simple design, but it just has, I love that M. It has such a nice flow to it.
It does. I think I said I could see it as their Instagram page bio photo, and you know, a reusable icon, and you could have it on a stamp, like a wax seal or something.
Absolutely. And of course, who doesn't love a good bottle of wine? I sometimes buy wines based on the label.
Until I learned more about wine, that was how I bought all my wine for about 8 years. I had no idea if it was any good, but I was like, that looks pretty.
Yes, and I don't have a sophisticated enough palate anyway, so it all tastes good to me, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that label, I'm buying that wine. And of course, with Design Cuts, the web fonts are, the web fonts included in the file. Here's all the different languages, and
so extensive. Angela asked, how long did it take you to create this font?
Good question. So it was all done in around a 9-month period, and I say like 6 months, like time, literally. But sometimes you have to like work for a month or two and like back away from it because you can't see it as clearly. You come back with fresh eyes, and then you're like, oh, that didn't work. You know, you're always kind of experimenting, trying new things. And it's all based on my own hand lettering that I design. So I do all the hand lettering first, but sometimes once I create it and make it into a font, I'm like, oh, you know what it needs? And then I go back to the lettering board and kind of start to create maybe some more additional, you know, flourished alternates. So it's very much a process, but it's a good 9 months for me.
I remember seeing the early phases. Like, what a project.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. So
it's easily one of my favorite fonts. And I tend to have a few go-tos. So I have, you know, my go-to. Oh no, she dropped out. Let me see if I can re-invite Debbie before we sign off, guys. But yeah, I was just saying I've got a few go-to fonts. So I have a handful of sans, a handful of serif fonts and display fonts and script fonts and so on. This instantly went into, you know, probably my top scripty font, definitely in the top 3 where I just default to using it over and over. So it's great.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Did I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you dropped out. It's all right. I kept it rolling.
Thank you. Another dad joke, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I could go all night. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us again. Anyone who hasn't grabbed it yet, click the shiny green button and the link that our team will just imminently put in the chat to grab the Hello My Love font family. It is so gorgeous. It will step up your work no end. It will really help you level up the aesthetics of your projects, and we just definitely recommend getting it. It's such a labor of love. And remember, when you grab it, you can also add additional items to your cart, including some of Debbie's other fonts, and save between 20 and 50% on your order, which is well worth doing. Very
cool. Yes. Get that Lisa Glanz floral set.
Yeah, go make your own floral wedding invites.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for coming. And I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day to hang out with me. And I hope you have fun with the font if you choose to purchase it. But otherwise, have a great day. And thank you, Tom, always. It's always great to hang with you.
Likewise. We never normally do this because we're signing off, but I don't want to leave a single person ignored. Have you got time? Kathy just asked a question, and I don't want to leave only her question not answered. So Kathy says, did you see my question about exporting the invitation as an image file? I think it's this one where she's saying, can you explain how to export the doc as a 5x7 printable image? Is that what you did when you saved it as PDFs? And then
yes.
Okay.
So the only option that I have in this version of Word is, other than saving it as a Word doc, is to save it as a PDF. That's the only option I have. And so some people actually have printers that can print custom sizes. And so some people may be able to print on a 5x7.
Yep.
And in that case, you could print from the PDF directly to your printer, or you could take that to any printer and, you know, have them use it, print from the PDF. I mean, that should be fine. But I don't know of any other format you can save it in unless there's something in the newer versions of Word.
Okay, hopefully that helps, Kathy. But we never leave a design cutter behind if they got a question. We got to get to everyone.
Kathy is a very, very, very old friend of mine. Like literally, I knew her when I was a teen, when I was in grade school.
Oh, wow.
That's so thanks for coming, Kathy.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy, Angela, Mia, Brenda, Jay, Tiffany, Rachel, Jackie, everyone else that's joined us. You guys are the best. We appreciate you, and tune in next week for another Design Cutters Community Hangout. That's it from us. But Debbie, thank you again. We appreciate you too. And we'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.